This is the Jillian Greyse Show, Vibrational Architect. I teach the discipline of redesigning the internal patterns that shape your love, your relationships, and the life you quietly know you were meant to live. Whether you're moving through familiar emotional cycles or you're a high achiever who senses there's more available to you, you're in the right place. This is where people learn to master the architecture of their lives and release the patterns holding them back from their inner blueprint. Each episode ends with a guided transmission to anchor the vibration we're working with so you can fully step into becoming the architect of your own life. Join me, Jillian Greyse, as we pull back the layers and rebuild the vibration you were always meant to live from. Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Jillian Greyse Show. Today, we are going to dive into one of the most uncomfortable, but also one of the most liberating truths about your identity. And those truths are that any part of yourself that you deny doesn't disappear. It operates underground. And anything you refuse to own is going to end up owning you. And the second truth is you're not judged later, you're revealed now. So your choices are going to carve themselves into your character in real time, even if you don't notice it. This episode is going to be deep. It's going to be personal. It's going to be clarifying. And I'm going to give you some real examples from not only my private sessions, but also the science about why this happens and practical ways to reclaim the parts of yourself that you've abandoned. Let's begin. First, the shadow side gets a bad rap. It's not dark. It's the disowned parts of you. The emotional frequency work in the shadow is not evil. It's simply the unintegrated part of your identity. It's the version of you that learned this part of me is not allowed. This part of me cannot see the light of day. This part of me is unlovable. This part of me gets punished. So therefore, you bury it. But burying anything doesn't mean it's gone, especially if it's part of your frequency still. Buried just means it's unconscious. And unconscious means it's going to activate without your permission, probably when you least expect it. So first, I want to give a real client example of when this has happened in some of my personal sessions with someone that I was working with for quite some time. This was a woman who wasn't angry, quote unquote. I had a client and she insisted she never gets angry. Her childhood had taught her that anger made her unsafe, so she simply shut it down. So here's what happened. She attracted partners who were explosively angry. She felt constantly attacked by people. She had major stomach issues, chronic inflammation. In one session, I asked her to describe what anger would feel like if she allowed it to come in. And she whispered, I think it would feel like power. And that was the truth. She wasn't avoiding anger, she was avoiding her own power. And once she integrated that frequency into her life, all of her relationships changed. Her body changed, her boundaries changed. All of that happened because she stopped denying what was operating underground and gave it the purpose that it was designed to have. And there's science behind why this happens. Neuroscience calls this the suppression rebound. When you suppress emotion, the brain increases activity in the amygdala. So when that suppressed emotion is there, it actually starts to become more reactive, not less reactive. The prefrontal cortex loses regularity and control, and the emotional leaks are all over the place, and they come out in defensive ways. They come out sideways. They come out in anxiety. They come out in physical symptoms. In other words, whatever you deny, it becomes louder. Whatever you suppress becomes stronger and it hides and presents itself when you're not paying attention. And whatever you refuse becomes the architect of your behavior. So, how this shows up in real life. Let's say you deny your jealousy. Well, in return, you will find you will be hypercritical of other people. Let's say you deny your sadness. In turn, you become numb. Let's say you deny your ambition. In turn, you resent people who are successful. Let's say you deny your fear. You start becoming controlling. Let's say you deny your anger. You attract people who try to pull it out of you. The shadow always finds an outlet. It always finds a way out. Anything you refuse to own is eventually going to own you. So you start to have this pattern called projection. And what that really is the mind's emergency exit. So projection is the psychological equivalent to your mind saying, I can't hold this, someone else has to. So in turn, your shadow has to hand it to somebody. Normally that's someone close. It becomes your partner that you blame, your children, your enemies, your coworkers, your ex, the world. Every single time you suppress a part of yourself and you refuse to look at it, you will actually take that piece of you and you will begin to identify it with people around you and act like it came from them. That is a further piece of denial, of projecting that out to the world around us. And it destroys relationships single-handedly. Perfect example of this is a client that I worked with, a man who did not want to become weak. He grew up with a father that made fun of weakness, that made fun of if you cried, if you had any emotions. So he became, quote unquote, strong. But here's the truth. He wasn't strong. He was armored. His wife felt like she couldn't reach him emotionally. His kids felt like they couldn't go to him with problems. And in one session, I asked him, what is the part that you're afraid of, that she'll see, that your family will see, that those you love will see? And he said to me that I need them. When he owned that he needed them, that he needed that, he actually became stronger, not weaker. He became a stronger father, a stronger partner, and a stronger man. Because the part that he stopped denying started to come alive within him and started to get meaning for what it always was designed to have. And that was to reach him to the level that he needed in order to feel like his authentic self. And we need all parts of ourselves in order to get there. Let's take a quick science break around identity imprinting. So psychology calls everything we're discussing the identity imprinting. The brain forms identity templates based on early emotional experiences, and anything that threatens that template gets suppressed. You suppress the identity, you suppress the traits, and then they start to become reactive patterns. Those reactive patterns become a personality, and those personalities become the destiny that you architect and create from. In other words, your shadow starts to become your life script unless you rewrite it. It starts to become the blueprint unless you can look into it and learn how to architect it in your favor. So what happens next? That hiding of that shadow part starts to create the very judgment you're trying to avoid. Here's the truth people never realize. We don't hide our shadow because it's dark. We hide it because we're afraid of being judged. Every disowned part of you was a buried version of you that got there for some reason. You may have believed it would cost you love, safety, belonging, or acceptance if it came out. So pushed underground and locked away, you pretend it's not there. But here's the identity paradox. The moment you hide a part of yourself, you lose control over how it expresses. You think you're avoiding judgment. You think you're avoiding rejection. You think you're protecting your image, your relationships, your stability. But suppression, it doesn't erase the shadow. It weaponizes it. Not against others, against you. Because the shadow doesn't disappear. It becomes your triggers, your reactions, your defensiveness, your emotional patterns, your relationship dynamics, your self-sabotage, your cycles, your identity. And that's why I talk so much about paying attention to how you react to things, paying attention to what you're triggered by, pay attention to those things that hit those emotions, because they are all going to be examples of hidden pieces of your shadow within that you need to find and make your peace with and own so that you don't label others as being responsible for it and find that you never find your way out of it and you end up stuck in a loop. Here is the pivotal point. The thing you hide to avoid judgment becomes the thing that reveals you. Not later, not someday, not in some cosmic courtroom later on in life or later on in your next life. Right now, in real time, through your choices, your behaviors, your relationships, and your emotional frequency. And there's a reason that this happens. So when you suppress parts of yourself, your nervous system tags it as dangerous. So you become hyperreactive around anything that resembles it. Your brain reroutes it into an unconscious expression. So it leaks out all over the place, starts to get crazy, just like what we talked about. You can't control it anymore. And then your identity reorganizes around the absence. So your life becomes shaped by the very thing you're trying to hide. This is why people say, I don't know why I keep ending up in these situations. I don't know why I keep repeating this pattern. I don't know why this keeps happening to me. It's not happening to you, it's happening through you, because what you hide becomes what you live. What you suppress becomes what you express. And what you deny eventually defines you. You hide the shadow to avoid judgment, but the act of hiding is what causes the real-time reveal. Not because you're flawed, not because your identity is a closed system, because it cannot sustain fragmentation. The shadow will surface, not to punish you, but to complete you. And surfacing is the reveal that everything we're going to talk about next is all about. Identity is a real-time system. People imagine judgment as something that happens later, in the afterlife, after mistakes, after consequences, but identity doesn't work that way. Identity is now. It's every choice you make. It reinforces the frequencies within you. It strengthens your pattern. It shapes your perception. It alters your relationships and ultimately architects your entire future. You're not judged now. You're revealed now. Your choices are going to carve out your character. If you hide being vulnerable, you are going to have a series of relationships that never go to the next level. So therefore, that vulnerability is going to actually look like you're closed, you're avoidant, you're untouchable. And that's what you're going to be judged by. That very hidden piece of you is going to be amplified in your personality, your reality, and what people personally perceive about you. And this same thing can go on and on for any quality you can imagine. Let's say you suppress being angry, like we talked about earlier. You're going to find that you're constantly in arguments, or people constantly want to argue or trigger you. And eventually you will be labeled as someone who attracts negative people or has negative relationships in their life. So that very hidden frequency starts to become your theme. And as your choices carve your character, it begins to move into a vibrational imbalance. Character isn't a moral concept, it's a vibrational code. Your choices carve your identity. They groove the frequencies within your entire system. They become the frequency that you are. The boundary you didn't set becomes part of your character. The truth you didn't speak becomes part of your character. The resentment you held becomes part of your character. The courage you expressed becomes part of your character. The self-abandonment you normalized becomes part of your character. Identity is not a mystery. It's a record. It's a record of your frequency. And that frequency translates to others as the type of person you are, the character that you have, your ability to be trusted, the kind of integrity you hold. We're going to pan out again and we're going to look at the science of this. We're going to chat about neuroplasticity, the brain's reveal mechanism. Every choice you make strengthens a neural pathway. So repeated choices become habits. They become emotional reflexes. They become personality traits. They become identity patterns. Your brain is not judging you. It's recording you. Your life is not judging you. It's reflecting you. Your relationships aren't judging you. They're revealing you. The vibrational reveal. The emotional frequency work every choice admits has a tone. And that tone will attract matching experiences. It attracts matching people. It shapes every relationship you have. It influences your opportunities. It determines your emotional landscape, which then becomes a ripple effect to bring towards you the frequency of what you are in your experiences around you. You are never waiting for life to reveal itself. Life is waiting for you to reveal yourself. And that's why becoming familiar with these parts of yourself is so important. I talk so much about this in my private sessions, and I actually have built out an entire algorithm for people to see within their own life paths and charts these tendencies. It is so helpful to know them. It can literally change how you architect your entire destiny. So, how do you reclaim this disowned part of yourself? Step one, identify the disowned frequency. Ask yourself, what part of me feels unsafe to express? Is it anger? Is it sadness? Is it ambition? Is it softness? Is it desire? Is it vulnerability? Is it power? Is it rest? Is it truth? Whatever feels dangerous is the part you buried. Step two, name the original rule. Every shadow has a rule. That shadow may be good girls don't get angry, strong people don't cry, ambition is selfish, needing people is weak, rest is lazy. Naming the truth of the rule breaks the spell. It's like getting down to the original vibration and examining it at its full course and allowing it to dissipate with your logic watching. Step three, reclaim that frequency. You don't fix the shadow, you integrate it. You say, this part is mine. This part of me is allowed. This part of me is safe. This part of me is needed. Integration is permission. So when you recognize that when you refuse to become vulnerable, it's to keep you safe, being able to know that you are not keeping yourself safe by avoiding vulnerability, you're actually doing the opposite, helps you to reclaim the frequency that has been alive within you that you are rewriting. Step four, make one aligned choice. Identity doesn't change through insight alone, it changes through action. So when you make an aligned choice to rewrite the pattern, that starts to change the neurological structure. When you say, I'm going to let myself be vulnerable. When you say, I'm going to let myself be angry. When you say, I'm going to speak up for myself. When you say, I'm going to tell the truth. When you say, I'm going to let myself follow my dreams and be ambitious. Every time you do that, you're making an aligned choice that will rewrite the pattern. And it's always up to you. Last but not least, we are going to do our guided talk down that we do on every single episode that helps you to integrate everything we chatted about. And this was important this week. Having an awareness of those shadow pieces, knowing that those shadow pieces are going to be what you become judged by. So letting them hide and allowing them to not come through and be healed will actually end up being the exact thing you've been trying to avoid. So stepping into that, leaning into it, allowing it to move through is key. And we're going to work through this guided talk down where together we integrate this energy and we move through step by step. So I invite you to take a moment to take a deep breath, find some place comfortable, and close your eyes. I want you to breathe in and feel the part of you that you've been avoiding. Whatever part that is. It might be sadness. It might be fear. It might be anger. It might be vulnerability. I want you to feel this part of you, not with fear, with curiosity. Now, internally, I want you to repeat, I see you. I hear you. I know why you hide. You're safe with me now. You can come home. Welcome in that emotion. You may see it as a color. You may feel it. You may experience a tightening of your body. Whatever it is, wherever it is, breathe into it. Allow it to be seen. Allow it to integrate through you. Allow it to be recognized. Name whatever emotion that is, whatever feeling it is, and tell yourself it's okay. Just sitting with that frequency gives it an opportunity to release, to move through, to reveal itself. Allowing that space to open up allows you to be open to healing. Awareness is everything. And the action of rewriting changes the future and aligns you with your highest timeline. Take one more deep breath and let your body soften. Let your frequency settle and let your identity expand. Remind yourself you are not becoming someone new. You're returning to someone who's whole. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Jillian Greyse Show. If this episode resonated with you, take a moment to subscribe to my newsletter. The link is right in the description. This is where I share deeper identity frameworks and emotional frequency maps. Also, the tools I use in my private sessions every day. And if you're ready to work at the identity level, not just the behavioral level, you can explore my coaching options through that site as well. Remember, your shadow is not your enemy. It's your unfinished self, waiting to reveal how beautiful it is. It's your job to shine the light on it. And the moment you stop denying it, you stop being owned by it. I'll chat with you next week. Let this episode settle into your system. And if someone in your life is moving through their own patterns or stepping into their next level, send this episode to them. The vibration you're integrating becomes stronger when it's shared. And if you feel called, liking the show or leaving a review helps this work to reach people who are meant to find it. I'm Jillian Greyse, and I'll meet you in the next episode as we keep rebuilding the blueprint that you were always meant to live from.